Mist drifts slowly through the upper valleys of Colombia's Sierra Nevada, clinging to forested slopes where clouds and mountains seem to merge. From a distance, nothing appears unusual, just layers of green, broken by rock and shadow. But hidden within these folds of terrain, stone pathways and circular terraces emerge, quiet, precise, and deliberate. And from this remote landscape, a question rises gently but persistently. How did a carefully planned city take shape on these steep mountain slopes, thrive for centuries in isolation, and then fade so completely from human memory? Ciudad Perdida does not reveal itself all at once. It unfolds gradually, terrace by terrace, step by step, as if inviting patience. Stone stairways climb through dense vegetation. Platforms appear where the land suddenly flattens. Circular foundations rest on slopes that seem almost impossible to build upon. The city feels less constructed than shaped, carved into the mountains rather than placed upon them. Here, elevation defines everything. The air is thin and cool. Rain arrives frequently, feeding rivers that descend toward distant lowlands. The slopes are steep, unstable, and constantly shifting. Landslides are common. Soil erodes easily. At first glance, this environment appears hostile to long-term settlement. And yet, Ciudad Perdida stands here, balanced between cloud and forest, water and stone. The Sierra Nevada rises sharply from Colombia's Caribbean coast, forming an isolated mountain range that reaches into the sky. Rivers flow outward in all directions. Forests change with altitude. Temperatures shift within short distances. This region contains multiple environments stacked vertically, offering access to diverse resources within a limited area. Ciudad Perdida occupies a narrow band within this system, positioned where movement, water, and stability intersect. Its layout reflects careful selection. Terraces follow the natural contours of ridges. Pathways trace the safest routes between elevations. Drainage channels guide rainfall away from foundations. Nothing here feels accidental. The city appears shaped by long observation and quiet experimentation. And yet, for all its precision, little is known about how this place truly functioned. No written records remain. No monumental inscriptions explain purpose. The stone speaks only through form and placement. As these terraces rise from the mist, they invite deeper attention, not just to what was built here, but to how a city like this was sustained and why it eventually fell silent. Life at Ciudad Perdida unfolded in close conversation with the mountains themselves. Every surface, every pathway, every terrace reflects an ongoing negotiation with gravity, water, and time. Nothing here suggests excess. The city appears shaped by necessity and restraint, designed to endure within limits rather than push beyond them. Terraces form the foundation of this system. Carved carefully into steep slopes, they create level platforms where structures once stood. These platforms are not identical. Some are broad and open, others are narrow and intimate. Their sizes and positions suggest different functions, yet none dominates the landscape. The city spreads horizontally across ridges rather than rising vertically, preserving balance in an environment where height carries risk. Stone stairways connect these terraces, winding upward through forest and mist. They follow natural lines of stability, avoiding loose soil and unstable ground. Movement through the city would have been slow and deliberate, guided by elevation and rhythm rather than speed. Every journey required attention to footing, weather, and terrain. Water management was central to this design. Rainfall is heavy and frequent in the Sierra Nevada. Without control, erosion would have quickly destroyed the settlement. Channels carved into stone redirect water away from living areas. Sloped surfaces guide runoff toward natural streams. Drainage systems appear woven into the city's fabric, quietly protecting it from collapse. The materials used reflect similar awareness. Stones were gathered locally and shaped with minimal alteration. Walls were assembled without mortar, allowing slight movement during seasonal shifts. This flexibility reduced cracking and structural failure. The city did not resist its environment. It adjusted to it. Within this network of terraces and pathways, space remains open and connected. Circular platforms suggest gathering areas. Broader terraces may have supported shared activities. Smaller platforms likely held dwellings or storage. Yet clear divisions are rare. No enclosed districts dominate. No obvious boundaries separate one area from another. The city's organization suggests coordination without heavy control. Its form points toward shared responsibility, maintenance repeated across generations rather than imposed from above. How such cooperation was sustained in such a demanding environment remains uncertain. But the stones, still resting where they were placed centuries ago, suggest that for a long time, it worked. As Ciudad Perdida continued to grow, its relationship with the surrounding landscape became even more intricate. The city did not expand outward in straight lines or fixed grids. Instead, it followed the contours of ridges and valleys, adapting its shape to the rhythms of the mountains. From above, the settlement appears less like a planned blueprint and more like a living pattern, gradually unfolding across steep terrain. Paths branch and rejoin, creating networks rather than corridors. Some routes are narrow and steep, guiding movement between higher and lower terraces. Others are broader, easing travel across central areas. Together, they form a system that balances access with protection. Movement here was never effortless. It required awareness, patience, and familiarity with the land. Stone platforms of varying sizes are scattered throughout the site. Many are circular, an unusual choice in such a rugged environment. Their form softens sharp edges and reduces erosion. These shapes may also have encouraged gathering, placing attention toward shared centers rather than isolated corners. In a city shaped by slopes and distance, these spaces offered moments of connection. The absence of monumental walls or enclosed compounds remains striking. There is no clear boundary separating public from private space. Instead, the city appears woven together through gradual transitions. Large terraces shift into smaller ones. Open areas narrow into pathways. The architecture avoids sudden divisions. This continuity suggests a settlement sustained through cooperation. Maintenance here would have been constant. Stones shifted by rain had to be replaced. Drainage channels had to be cleared. Stairways had to be repaired. Without regular care, the environment would have reclaimed everything within years. Yet for centuries, that did not happen. The city endured. Its systems held. Its pathways remained open. Its terraces stayed level. This persistence raises difficult questions. What encouraged people to return again and again to such demanding labor? What social structures supported this rhythm of renewal without leaving behind clear symbols of authority? Material evidence offers few direct answers. Organic materials have long vanished, only stone remains. And stone, by its nature, preserves structure but not intention. What survives is a city that functioned through balance rather than force, through repetition rather than command, through quiet continuity rather than display. But balance, once disturbed, is fragile, and slowly subtle changes began to appear. Over time, the quiet rhythm that sustained Ciudad Perdida began to shift. The change did not arrive with fire or destruction. It came through slowing movement and fading presence. Some terraces show signs of reduced maintenance. Certain pathways appear to have been used less often. Drainage channels slowly filled with sediment. Stonework began to loosen. The mountain environment is beautiful but unforgiving. Heavy rains can reshape slopes within days. Landslides can undo years of work in moments. Even small failures in terrace walls or water systems would have demanded constant attention. If that attention weakened, erosion would spread quickly. Environmental pressure may have played a role. Subtle shifts in rainfall, forest cover, or soil quality could have strained food production. In a place so closely balanced with its surroundings, even gradual changes could have lasting effects. Social change may have mattered just as much. A city built on renewal depends on shared commitment. When fewer people returned to rebuild walls and clear channels, the system would not collapse suddenly. It would thin, then loosen, then quietly unravel. The absence of violent destruction is striking. Ciudad Perdida does not appear to have fallen. It seems to have been set aside. As activity moved elsewhere, the forest closed in. Vines wrapped around stairways, roots pushed between stones, leaves filled plazas. Within decades, much of the city disappeared beneath living cover. Today, the terraces still shape the mountainside. Pathways still follow ancient routes. Platforms still hold their form. The city remains, not as a monument, but as a dialogue between stone, water, and forest. And the question returns, how did such complexity thrive here, and why did its balance eventually fade? Ciudad Perdida offers no final answer. It suggests that cities can rise through patience and attention, and dissolve quietly when those qualities drift away. Here, high in the mountains, the city rests within the land that created it. If this journey through Ciudad Perdida stayed with you, you're welcome to like and subscribe for more quiet explorations. And what do you think mattered most in keeping a mountain city like this alive for so long?